Jimmy Tailor, the brother from Harlem with the high school education, and I'm loving life. Why? Now I'm working downtown for Barney's, and it was called Barney's Boys Town back then, even though they had men's suits, but originally it was designed just for boys, but they added everything else on. So it's called Barney's Boys Town. Now, because I'm making $100 a week now, opposed to the $85 that I was making at Macy's, and now instead of about 12 hours a week worth of overtime, I put in a little more time. I got 20 hours a week. So I have my regular time and 20 hours worth of overtime. See, now all of a sudden, now understand, I haven't really I had just turned 20 years old. I'm making like $150 a week. In today's time, because of the way the economy and things cost back then, I'm 20 years old. That would be equivalent to about $600–700 a week in today's time. But back then, $150 a week, because mind you, minimum wage is still $1.25. You know, I'm making almost $3 an hour. So I'm okay, you know, I'm really okay. I got a car, working downtown, it's easier because, see, when I worked at Macy's, by the time I would get home at night, it'd be 8:30. So that just gave me a few hours before I had to get up and jump at it again in the morning before I got the car. I had to be up, I'd be out by 6. Now, I had to be to work until 8, 7:30, I could go to work and be to work on time because if I took the express train in 20 minutes, I'm downtown. So I had plenty of time to spare. But the best part about it was I got off and I didn't have that 2-hour commute. So I could go hang out. Now, Vietnam is going hard and heavy. And like I say, my partners are in Vietnam. They're serving in the military. It's only myself and my partner, James Johnson. We call him JJ. It's just us, it's just him and I, but I got a car. So we travel all over Harlem to all the parties that we want to on the weekend because he only worked Monday through Friday. So when it came to the weekend, boy, he and I were all over Harlem. Now, in New York in those days, you could go into a bar or you can go into a liquor store and you could buy alcoholic beverages at 18, not 21. Now, they've changed it since, but back in our day, it was only 18. So we could go in all the bars. So here we are hanging out. I got money, he had a good job, he was making a lot of tips also, he had some money in the pocket. We still, both of us still living at home with our mothers. So our living expense was still kind of minimum. Even though I helped my mother out a whole lot, my living expense, because I had to pay for a roof over my head, and if I had no groceries, mom's had food ready, his mother was the same way. See, he's living at home with his mother, so he had a roof over his head, and groceries was always there. He giving his mother some money, we partying, oh, we going all over. Well, now we starting to go into the clubs that we used to go look at when we were teenagers. We lived in Harlem, so we mainly went to the establishments in Harlem. So we could go into a place. And one time, he and I were on 125th Street. And they had the Apollo Bar. At that time, we didn't know that the Apollo Bar was a gay bar. And they used the phrase gay in those days. But that's what it ended up being. So, we big shots. We going in the bar, he and I. We sit down at the bar, not at one of the tables, down at the bar, and he and I, and we ordered drinks because we were of legal age to buy the drinks. So we sitting there, and he looks down the end of the bar, and there's a couple of ladies sitting down there. So we're here, and I don't know, 5 or 6 chairs in between. There's a couple of ladies sitting at the bar. This was early evening. It hadn't gotten late where the bar fills up. It hadn't gotten late. So we're sitting down there and we having a little drink, a little scotch and soda, scotch and water, because we drank a lot of scotch in those days there. So we sit down there and because we had a little fuzz on our face, we didn't have all of this, but we had a little fuzz on our face. They didn't really card you back then, you know, even though we had a draft card. And we were willing to show it. You know, it's nothing better you could do than whip your card out on them. It's, I'm legal. So we sitting there, we drinking, and they flirting with us down at the end of the bar. You know, how y'all doing? And so the thing in those days when you were at a bar, when you were sitting there, if you saw a young lady sitting there, either a couple of them or by themselves, you always send a drink. So you tell the bartender, send them, give them what they want and put it on our tab. That's the way they did things back in those days. So we sat down there and we flirting with them, they flirting with us. So finally, James gets up and he walks down to the bar and I hope you young ladies enjoy your drink. And one of them said, thank you very much, in a deep voice. Oh, we said, oh man, they are not women. So we politely finished our drink, got on up, trickled on out the bar real quick. So we wouldn't be seen. First of all, it was early, so a lot of the people hadn't gotten off from work yet. This was maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we wouldn't be seen coming out of this bar because we didn't really know what type of bar it was. It'd been there ever since I was a kid. The first time I went across 125th Street, I saw the Apollo Bar. I'm thinking, it's just another establishment, like all the rest. Everywhere you went, there was a bar. So I'm thinking this is a regular establishment. So, okay, now I see what's happening. So we never went back in there, needless to say, because we were too embarrassed. We didn't ever tell the partners that that's where we went. I'm new to know what the Apollo Bar really was. James Johnson's new because, see, he actually lived on 147th Street. At that particular time, I lived on 145th Street. But all the rest of the boys lived down 128, 129th Street on Common Avenue. This is where we started out. Just so happened we lived up there. So we didn't tell them. They knew what the Apollo Bar was because, you know, they've been there all their lives. And even though I started on Common Avenue, but left and went to Washington Heights and then to 145th Street, they still knew the area. I still didn't know because I really only spent 2 years physically living there, even though I hung out there all my life. So they kind of knew what was what. So we got up from the bar, left, like I say, went on about our business, but they're in Vietnam. So they don't really know what's happening with us. We still having a party, we still going over here, we still going over there, hanging out all through Harlem. But because I have a car now, it's easier to get around. So he and I would just go driving around Harlem, just seeing what's happening in each little neighborhood. We just driving around, having a good time, waiting for him. I'm working downtown, I'm working at Barney's, having a good time. And then tragedy hit me. It wasn't really tragedy, but because I was kind of one of the last guys to start working there, Barney's, during their vacation time, which I told you, everybody shuts down same time, that's for a whole month. Barney's decided to lay off the part-timers during that period of time. They just kept a little skeleton crew. They left all the part-time and the last guys that they hired in go for a month. Well, the tragedy struck in because I needed to continue working. I could not stop working because now all of a sudden I'm about to become a father. I needed money. I needed to know where my money was coming in. So when I got laid off, they said, we'll call you back, but that wasn't going to be until in September when they were going to call us back. I said, wow, I might be out of work 4, 5, 6 weeks, but I got to start now thinking about what's happening because I'm about to become a father. And I needed an income. I needed a source of income. So I had to make a lot of decisions. Could I stick around? Because if you draw unemployment, it takes you 3 weeks to get a check anywhere. I needed to get some work quick. So I had to go find me a job real quick. I could not stick around and wait for them to call me back. Okay? Now I probably would have taken something temporary and then quit again because I liked that job. And I didn't have to worry about it until the following year. By then I would have been good invested in a job where they might not have let me go, but I couldn't take that chance. So I had to go do something, and I had to do it quick. So I'll tell you all about that later. I'm going to tell you about it now, because at that point in my life, that's where the whole formulation of me starts. I got all this experience, got all this know-how, but I was not a proven commodity. I had not become the full-fledged tailor that I was about to become when I talk to you again. Once again, Gentleman Jim here, brother from Harlem with high school education. See you soon. Many blessings to you.